Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video I'm going to be reacting to a slide deck that's been sort of going around that was created by a group of first year investment banking analysts at Goldman Sachs, basically detailing their experiences and working conditions at the bank. And spoiler alert, if you've not already seen it, it's not too positive. So yeah, as an aspiring investment banker and someone who will be doing an internship at a bulge bracket this summer, I thought it'd be quite interesting to react to it. So stick around if you're interested. So this report surveyed about 13 of their first year analysts in the investment banking division at Goldman, and they basically reported that they were working an average of 95 hours a week and sleeping about 5 hours a night. So this 95-hour-a-week average is largely consistent with what I had already heard about investment banking. So I think I was told mostly in the window of like 80 to 100 hours a week. So the average of sleeping for about 5 hours a night, I think the nature of investment banking is that it probably does vary quite a bit, but 5 hours is not very much. I get about 8 right now, so that's going to be quite the adjustment. So this report also found that the average satisfaction of those analysts with the firm and with their work life on a scale of 1 to 10 was a 2. So this is obviously not great. Like, I have heard of like Goldman being quite an intense bulge bracket, but you know, a rating of 2 is it's not great. So another key aspect of this report is that with 10 being the healthiest, they reported their mental health dropping from 8.8 before starting in IBD to 2.8 afterwards. And the drop for physical health was a 9 to a 2.3. So while this is consistent, and you know, I had heard that investment banking is pretty intense and brutal, I didn't think it would be that bad. Wow. 100% of them have experienced unrealistic deadlines. So I think this one is probably quite common across the board for anyone in investment banking. I think sort of the way the hierarchy works and workload and stuff like that, and just the pace of the industry, I think it's apparently quite common that you can get deadlines that are quite unrealistic, and because of that you'll have to stay up later, and you know, it is just more stressful. So when asked how likely they were to recommend Goldman Sachs as a place of work for aspiring talent, it averaged at just 4.2. So this is quite shocking because anyone who's interested in investment banking sort of sees Goldman as like the creme de la creme. It's what everyone talks about. So yeah, it's quite shocking that those who work there wouldn't recommend. But at the same time, I do have a friend who's a first year analyst at Goldman, and she basically said that she wouldn't recommend it either. So I think this report has just been very revealing in general. So the report did also include some quotes from the analysts that they surveyed just about their experiences. I'm not going to read it out because it is quite unpleasant and quite sad, but I'll put a few on the screen, and you can definitely find the report somewhere on the internet if you're interested. I think the best thing about this report is that they included some recommendations, proposals for Goldman to implement to just, you know, increase the analyst satisfaction. And the first one that I noted is that they wanted to propose Goldman capping the work week to 80 hours a week, you know, obviously to ensure that analysts are like rested and to ensure that they're actually like delivering good quality work. They also recommended that they start scheduling client meetings at least a week in advance, you know, just to give analysts and juniors just time. They also called for their teams to respect the company's policy that junior bankers should not work from Friday 9 p.m. to Sunday morning. So I think a lot of banks tend to have like safeguarding policies such as, you know, pens down at this time, or you know, there's not allowed to be any work in this period of time. So yeah, I think they're just sort of calling for the teams to actually implement this company policy. So yeah, those are sort of the key points from the report. I think it was very eye-opening, and I think it's good that I saw that obviously before my internship. And yeah, here's just some of my thoughts on the piece as a whole. Okay, so obviously that report wasn't the most positive regarding investment banking or Goldman even, but I do think it's worth noting that it was quite a small sample size, and that sample size was also self-selected. And I think what's interesting is that everyone who goes into investment banking sort of knows, you know, that it's long, unpredictable hours and they kind of know what to expect. But I think that report clearly shows that you never really know until you experience it. But yeah, I'm not too surprised because, you know, the general conclusion from what I've seen in this report has been sort of reiterated in other forums, and it seems that like since COVID and people working from home, that there has been, you know, some people finding it harder to distinguish between like work and life. But on the other hand, a lot of people have said that they've found a better balance like being at home, because like, for example, you can't take a 30-minute cycle, you know, when you're in the office, but you can when you're at home. So yeah, I think it definitely just depends on your experience, and like you can never really know until you go into it for yourself. But what's most interesting to me is that I've spoken to quite a lot of investment bankers in the past 3 or 4 weeks, and like none of them have expressed or even hinted anything close to what I've seen like in this report. Like, I think obviously Goldman might be a little bit different, but you know, I did speak to people at a lot of board brackets, maybe like 30-40 analysts, some associates, and generally like nothing was half as bad as some of the quotes that, you know, I've seen in that report. I think obviously I can't say for sure, but it does seem like it probably varies depending on the bank and the team that you're in as well. I think the proposals that they included at the end are very reasonable, but I mean, obviously you can argue if it's likely to be implemented, because I guess, you know, it's so competitive and there's so many people willing to like take your place that the bank may not have an incentive to actually take on everything you're saying. But yeah, I do think it needs to be looked into, because generally a lot of the stuff shared is pretty upsetting. So yeah, ahead of my internship, I've been doing some networking before, you know, sort of deciding the team that I want to intern at. And you know, things such as, does the team actually implement the like pens down policies that they have and other safeguarding stuff, has been things I've been asking and checking before, you know, sort of deciding where I want to intern at. And yeah, I think this report has just shown the importance of that. The team and the company that you work in definitely make a big difference to your overall experience of investment banking. So if you're like about to enter the recruitment cycle this year, definitely bear that in mind when you're choosing what companies to apply to. So yeah, that's basically my short review of that report. I think it was quite interesting to read, and I think it's sort of great that they released it. Obviously it's very transparent and honest. Yeah, that's not the best thing you want to read before going into the industry, but I'm glad they did share it. Like, I do think it's important to be honest, and I definitely hope like their experience improved, and hopefully Goldman changes the things that have been so bad for them. But yeah, bearing all of that in mind, if you'd like to see my experience going into investment banking when I do my summer internship, then definitely give this video a like to let me know. Subscribe as well to stick around for the journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. Maybe leave a comment letting me know what part of the report was the most shocking to you. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.